Is jealousy always a bad thing? Is jealousy always a bad thing? Maybe there's such a thing as holy jealousy. You're jealous about something good in other people. I have holy jealousy about pretty much every one of the world's religions in some way or another. Holy jealousy, where I wish that I had a quality in that religion, or I wish my religion had a quality in the other religion. So it's a good kind of jealousy then, yes, because you aspire to it. But you wouldn't even know about it unless you knew something about those religions, right? And it also, learning about other religions might kind of wake you up to stuff in your own religion that you never paid any attention to before. It's sort of like those, what do they call those glasses you put on? One's red and one's blue. 3D glasses? Yeah, have you ever put those on? Yeah, okay. Well, that's what we're doing here for this month. We're putting on 3D glasses to look at our religion through the lens, through the glasses of other religions, and to look at other religions for what they are with clear glasses, right? How do other religions see themselves? How do they interpret what their religion is about? So we can do both. And when we do that, very often I think we get holy jealousy, a desire to, we aspire to the good in other faiths. I, for one, have a lot of holy jealousy for the Sikh faith, S-I-K-H. They're amazing. Has anybody ever been to a Sikh Gurdwara? Yeah? Wow. This is how their religion goes. You go to the Gurdwara, the temple, and you go into this room and you sit down on the floor, on the carpet, and everybody wears some kind of headgear, like this. This is from a Sikh Gurdwara. So they all put on headgear like this. Women and men cover their heads, which is, in a lot of religions, a sign of being humble, right? Humility in front of God. So you put on your head cover. Very traditional Sikh men will wear a turban, and the women in the Gurdwaras wear silk covering for their heads. So you sit on the floor, and then you listen to these people playing really beautiful music with harmonium and sitar, Indian music that's very haunting and lovely, and it's like a chant. It sounds like a chant, and it's beautiful. Meanwhile. And while they're making the music, there's somebody behind their Bible. Their Bible is on a stand, this gigantic Bible. It's called the Guru Granth Sahib. It's huge. And the entire time, while the musicians are playing, this person is going like this over the Bible, the Guru Granth. Why? Why would you do this over the Bible? And you don't know why. It's okay. I don't expect you to know this. I learned this from going to Gurdwaras many times. The reason is that the Sikh people had gurus. They had 11 gurus, or teachers. And the last guru in the line of their teachers, the last one said, "After me, there will be no more human gurus. Your guru is the Guru Granth Sahib," the Bible. And their Bible is nothing but psalms. It's nothing but songs. How great is that? Can you imagine a Bible that's nothing but song lyrics? How great is that? And that's what they're singing. That's what these folks with the harmonium and the sitar, they're singing their Bible. So the point is that they replaced the human guru with a book guru. So they treat the book guru like they would have treated the human guru, and any big shot in India always has somebody behind him going like this to wave off the flies. Fly whisk, right? You ever seen that? So it's like you want no bugs to touch the surface of your wonderful guru. So they treat their Bible the same way. Keep off the critters. Whoa, 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 I got carried away. So, beautiful music. And then when you've had enough of that, lagom, pow, like we talked about before, when you've had enough, then you just stand up anytime and you go to the next room and they feed you free Indian food that's really good.
But music is with words or no words? It's just
Oh, there's words. Yeah, they're playing the sitar. Yeah, they're all prayers. They're all prayers. Their religion is just psalms, like the psalms in our Bible, nonstop. That's all they do. And then, so when you've listened to that long enough, stand up and you go enjoy a free meal. And in India, the headquarters of the Sikh faith in Amritsar, the center of the Sikh world, where the Golden Temple is, they serve over 100,000 free meals every day to anybody. It's like wide open. They're famous for feeding people good food, lots of people. What a cool religion, don't you think? Actually, this whisk is from another religion, the Jain, Jain religion in India. And a young woman of the Jain faith, her name is Shraddha Jain. I'm going to have a visit with her tomorrow, actually. I haven't seen her in a while. Brilliant young woman. Most Jains are named Jain. Easy way to identify them. And in their tradition is the one from which we get the idea of nonviolence. Well, I have holy jealousy for how far they go with that. How cool is it, how beautiful is it to avoid violence or harm to any living being. So these whisks are used to move ants or bugs away on the ground so that you don't step on them. You might hurt them, right? That's how hardcore these guys are. Their monks wear little covers in front of their faces in case they breathe in a bug and kill it. They don't want to do that. So the whole idea of nonviolence, Gandhi, the Hindus picked this up. Ahimsa or nonviolence comes actually from the Sikh religion, which is older than most of the Hindu traditions. So I have holy jealousy for that. I have holy jealousy for Muslims because they have these traditions that are just profound devotion and humility. It's beautiful. Bowing to the east 5 times a day. Humility before God, before ultimate reality. It's beautiful. And I have done the prostrations with them many, many times. And it's just something very deeply profound and beautiful about practicing that with Muslims. And they always welcome you to do that with them. You don't have to sign up and join something in order to pray with them. They'll just, sure, stand in line with us and pray. I also admire their tradition of Ramadan, of fasting. And a young woman at USC was talking to me about the Ramadan fast. And she said, practicing Ramadan makes us human, she said. She says, because the animals, when they're hungry, they eat, right? We're the only creatures that when we're hungry might decide not to eat, right? We might decide and choose not to eat for some reason, other reason, besides hunger or basic needs. She says, so practicing fasting at Ramadan is a way of reminding us that we are humans and being more fully human. And I thought, that is beautiful. That is a beautiful understanding of that practice, profound understanding of it. And the list goes on, yes? Other faiths. People have had holy jealousy for Jewish people forever. And for a good reason, because the Jewish religion is literate, right? Beautiful ancient literature. It has a strong morality and a very complex and rich philosophy. And so it is no wonder that people all over the world have had holy jealousy for the Jewish faith. And that jealousy showed up in Jesus' time. People from all over the world would go to Jerusalem at Passover because they admired the Jewish religion. They thought it had something going for it that they wanted to participate in. Now, they couldn't participate in it fully unless they were Jews. And, as Joan will attest, if you want to be a Jew, the Jewish people will say, "Why the heck would you want to do that?" They don't evangelize. I have holy jealousy for them for that, right? They're not trying to convert everybody to their tradition. It's like, hey, we're cool, you're cool. But the point here is that people always admired that tradition, and they did in Jesus' time. And the reason we have the Christian religion is because of those people who had holy jealousy for the Jewish people. So they were called proselytes. Some of these folks would hang out at Jewish synagogues and learn the tradition and study Hebrew and read the texts and follow along, even though they couldn't fully participate. And it was from those proselytes, those Gentiles that would hang out with Jewish synagogues, those are the people that the early Christians organized into the Christian church. That's how we got here. So we're a mashup religion. We're a second-hand religion, right? We engaged in what you might call cultural appropriation. Kind of a no-no now, right? Maybe I shouldn't even be wearing this because that's cultural appropriation. But the point is, you're cool with it? All right. Like I was saying. Christianity is a product of holy jealousy. Think of it that way. Isn't that neat? And the process goes on, and we're part of it because our tradition of Christianity celebrates the idea that other religions can be as good for other people as ours is for us. And we understand this difference, that these differences add up to something wonderful, right? The differences among the religions give us 3D glasses to look at all spirituality with fresh eyes and with more depth, yes? Depth perception. So we celebrate that in our tradition. About 20-some years ago, I started something called Pluralism Sunday, first Sunday in May, for churches to celebrate this principle and to lift up and learn about the faiths of the world. So it's something that's been practiced around progressive Christian churches all over the place. Although at one point, a friend of mine said, well, we don't need Pluralism Sunday anymore because we're all doing it all year round. And I think that's true. It's like the progressive Christian movement has kind of evolved to a place where this is something woven into our lives all the time. So Pluralism Sunday is a lot less big of a deal as it was when we started it 20 years ago, for that reason, for a really great reason. Sometimes people will accuse those of us who are religious pluralists of being relativists. Have you ever heard that term? It's like, oh, these progressive Christians, they're relativists. They think all religions are the same. They're all equally good. They're all just basically the same. That's what they think. Well, they're wrong. Our way is the only way. So we get accused of being relativists. But that's just not even accurate at all. Relativism, again, is the idea that they're all equal. All the religions are equal. But that just isn't true. They're different. They're very different. And of course, there are problematic features of all of our religions, right? So not all aspects of each religion are equally good, right? It might even be true that there's some religion out there that's not as good for people as others. That's okay. But there's probably still some kernel in it, some little nugget in it that is good. So we're not relativists, we're pluralists. And that is a consequence of spiritual humility. And humility is something that a lot of religions practice and lift up. Lift up humility? Maybe that's the wrong term. But the point is that humility is something really integral to spirituality, whether it's religious or not. I came to admire very much the first president of the Czech Republic after communism fell was Václav Havel. Anybody ever hear about him? Remarkable man, really remarkable person. Yeah, he was avant-garde playwright, kind of what can I say, sort of a Jack Kerouac kind of guy, an edgy artist guy, who then was constantly in conflict with the communist authorities and was jailed, and with a lot of other dissidents and artists and creatives, and became a spokesperson for the resistance to the communist dictatorship there. And one thing led to another, and when the communist system fell, here's this avant-garde playwright becomes the president of his country. It would be sort of like if Allen Ginsberg had become president of the United States. It's just unimaginable, But a very deep, thoughtful, philosophically minded guy, and a spiritual guy too. He was not a religious person at all in any kind of formal sense. But he was a really beautiful and profound spokesperson for the idea that the world, the survival of human civilization on Earth depends on humility, depends on us having an attitude of humility about ourselves and about our institutions, and that we answer to something beyond ourselves. You can call it God, you can call it ultimate reality. Again, he wasn't religious, but he had a religious sentiment that's so woven into the religions of the world in so many different ways. So if we're really humble, really practicing this humility, then we will recognize that no one religion has all the answers, right? No one religion is the only way. So pluralism is not a religious salad, nor is it a religious soup. So a religious soup is like you take all the elements of all the world's religions and you put them into the blender and you turn on frappe, right? No, that's not what we're about. Nor is it salad, where you have little bits and pieces of all the religions, you throw them together and then you have the salad. It's something else. Pluralism is something beyond any of that. And it's beyond tolerance, too. America's all about religious tolerance, like let different religions practice, etc. And that's woven into our legal tradition and our Constitution, that the government's not supposed to establish a particular religion. And and Jefferson and the other founding parents of our country understood that, believed we should be tolerant of other religions and many religions. But pluralism goes beyond that. It values and celebrates with holy jealousy the religions of the world. It's a step beyond, a more positive attitude than tolerance, something more embracing. Jefferson, when he was communicating with a Jewish congregation in Georgia, and wrote a letter in which he said something very profound. He wrote to the Jewish community there, letting them know that they were safe and protected in America. Wish that was always true, but that was the goal for Jefferson. And this is what he wrote in his letter to the Jewish community there. He said, "The maxim of civil government being reversed in that of religion." So in civil government, it's like, united we stand, divided we fall, right? Jefferson said, when it comes to religion, divided we stand, and united we fall. Isn't that cool? Thomas Jefferson said that. That what makes religion lively and energetic and interesting in America is that it's divided, that there's pluralism, there's diversity, and that is a strength. It's a strength for the country. It's a beautiful, positive, good thing. So we celebrate that today, yes? We celebrate the fact that divided we stand, and united we would fall. You know, united, what happens when you have a state religion? It falls apart, right? Why is it that hardly anybody goes to church in Britain, despite all the pomp and circumstance of the coronation yesterday, with all the religious blah, blah, blah going on? All this, all this grandioseness of religious expression fed by the state, a state religion, the Church of England. Well, nobody goes anymore. Funny thing. Go to Iran, they have a theocracy, right? A religious government where Shia Islam is enforced as the religion of the land. Well, now the clerics of that religious tradition in Iran can't go out in public with their headgear on and their Ayatollah outfits anymore because the people hate them. And they hassle these folks on the streets of Iran today, even though it's a theocracy and like a police state. So, bad idea. So, we as progressive Christians, pluralists, have got to resist that happening in our country, right? And there's an effort to do it. Christian nationalism. What a mess. I can't believe it's bubbling up again, but it is. We have to resist that. We have to resist it right here in Simi Valley, right? Because it's an issue here. So let us represent pluralism, and let's do it with holy jealousy for all that is good in our fellow religions that are practiced, the diversity of religions practiced in our country and in our valley. So that's going to be the theme this month for worship, and enjoy. Amen.